Tools, ladies and gentlemen, exist to make our lives easier. This has never been more true. How many times did you actually struggle while working with Google Ads, when you're working with big accounts, when you're working with a lot of keywords, especially when you find keywords, even if it's for a small account? How many times did you find it really congested or suffocating to actually group the keywords, write ad texts, make sure you haven't missed out anything for any of these things? It can get a little cumbersome, let's face it. In my 15, 16 years of experience, there has never been a tool which solves the purpose of getting things organized, especially when you work with Google Ads. The tool that we're talking about is called as Google's very in-house tool, which is called as Google Ads Editor. It was termed as AdWords Editor in the past, but now it is called as Google Ads Editor. It is available for free download in the Google Ads support where you just need to go ahead and start downloading this tool, set it up, including your location, language, etc., and then you're good to go. What I have on the screen now is a tool, which is the Google Ads tool. All you need to do is download it and install it, and you will reach this screen. Now, you need to add a Google Ads account. You will see these options. You will also be prompted with the Google Ad accounts that you have used to register for your Google Ads account. If you have not done that, you need to go ahead and create a Google Ads account first. Then click on Allow, and then it will automatically give you a success message where you have successfully gone ahead and downloaded all the accounts that you have associated with that one email ID or Google account. This email ID that I have is used to create these many accounts already, some of them active, some of them inactive, most of them are MCCs. So I just need to demonstrate you one account. So I just need to select one account and say, okay. Now, do you need all campaigns or only the campaigns you select? I would want to go ahead and look at all campaigns. So let's go ahead and click on all campaigns. Now, when I do that, it will obviously show a progress bar with the progress of the importing that's happening. Please note that you need internet connection at this point in time, because this data is actually being fetched from your actual Google Ads account. Let me also tell you that the most interesting fact about Google Ads Editor especially is this tool is an offline tool, which means you don't need internet connection. You don't need to be connected to the internet while you're making any changes in the AdWords editor, but you need internet access when you're importing the data and when you're posting the data back into the system. Apart from these things, to work on the actual campaigns, you do not need internet activity or connectivity. Let me put it that way. All right, so let's go ahead and look at what you see on the screen. Once it imports all the campaigns, you will see it this way. These are all the campaigns that I have. Each campaign has subsequent elements of that campaigns, which means you will have ad groups, keywords and targeting. You will also have ads, keywords and targeting, ads, ad extensions, recommendations, etc. Now, there was a time, I think a couple of years ago, it must be easily 2 years ago, when it was very difficult for you to go ahead and add image ads or ad extensions using AdWords Editor, because the functionality was limited, and they keep building the functionality with every year passing. So you actually had a problem where you could not add the image ads, display ads, responsive display ads using AdWords Editor, that you had to go back and start looking at adding these things from your Google Ad account. But now it's all sorted. You can add almost everything that you can do in your actual account can be done in the editor. Now let's face the $1 million question. Why do I need an editor? I already have access, and there are so many things that let me do things easily within my Google Ads account. Why do I need a standalone tool, which can be a lot hassle if I want to keep things simple? Agreed, you want to keep things simple. That's the very reason you should go ahead and start using AdWords Editor. Plus, it will also give you the functionality to review changes in case you have messed up anything, so that you can't push these changes into the live account. Typically, this is very, very, very helpful, and I can't stress on the fact enough In cases where you're working with a client account and you would want to be doubly sure before pushing anything into the client account. There will be certain situations when you create the campaign for the client and then you push it into the account. The client is not happy. Now you don't know what you have added. He wants you to make, he or she wants you to make some changes. You don't know what you have done, etc. In those cases, you can actually send a rough draft or a proposal using AdWords Editor. So to review all those things before they actually get pushed out into real-time accounts, this is very handy. Plus, you can work offline. Number three, very, 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 very easy to organize and get a foothold of organizing your campaigns and to understand what is going on. Last but not the least, there are so many simple hacks that you can use with Google Ads Editor that you will find it life saving when you're working with big accounts, especially with a lot of keywords or ads. So enough talk, let's get started. And let me also tell you that this is going to be a two-part series and this is the first part that we are looking at. So let's get started, jump right into the account, the AdWords Editor, and see what do we have. On the left-hand side, just like your Google Ads account, you will have a list of all your campaigns. And then you have accounts, then you have campaigns, then you have ad groups, then you have keywords, then you have ads, ad extensions, recommendations, shared library, overview, blah blah blah. All these menus are collapsible menus, which means you can collapse and open them as and when you need them. Now if you want to select any campaign that you would want to look at, let's say if you're talking about this campaign, now when you select this campaign, you will see automatically keywords are being highlighted. That's because you will by default be here. Now if you don't want to do that, if you want to look at the ad groups, click on the ad groups. These are the four ad groups that I have here. One of them is paused, the other three are active. Green is paused and green is active and this is paused. Now remember that each of these things have a distinct functionality. Each of these things have different attributes that you can go ahead and add and edit as per your convenience. Whatever you forget about Google Ads Editor, I'm okay with that. I don't mind if you forget anything with Google Ads Editor, but remember this one thing. AdWords Editor or the Google Ads Editor has amazing search functionality where you can search things across campaigns, across ad groups, across the accounts, just in case you would want to search for a specific thing. Now, when you are finding keywords, it is a usual practice for us to go ahead and find keywords for all the products that our campaigns are going to be than looking at one at a time. Now, when you find these keywords from your Google Ads account, we add all these keywords to the keyword plan, download them in an Excel sheet, and then we typically go ahead and start adding these keywords or grouping these keywords into different ad groups in an Excel sheet. Now, that's very cumbersome because you'll have to make sure that you're very, very accurately looking at the text text arrangement of how these keywords are placed and what match type are you thinking at, or what do you want to achieve through these keyword groups, how many ad groups have you done. It becomes a little untidy to work with. So to avoid those things, we use Google Ads Editor. You have an amazing search functionality here. For example, let me show you what I'm talking about. Now in this level, which is the account level, if I want to look at keywords, I need to select keywords. All right, so let me select keywords. Oh, this is acting up. All right. Okay, so this is the list of keywords that I have, right? So let's actually look at the search functionality. And I would want to look at let's say diet. So I have put in a keyword called diet, right? You see, it says, show me anything that has got the word diet in it. And I have selected keywords, which means in no time, this will pull up all the keywords that has the word diet in them, right? Now, This is so convenient, so on the fly that you don't need internet connection, you don't have to struggle with the loading speeds, etc. So you can go ahead and find a word called diet in any of those keywords. So this is the search functionality that I'm talking about. So let's close this. Let's go back to normal. Okay. All right. Now, do you see all the green dots on the left hand side of your keyword tab? Now, these indicate that all the keywords that are here are inactive state, or in the eligible state, right? Or enabled state, as you may know. Now, if you look at this drop down, any keyword, if I change this to paused, they get paused and it will automatically reflect here. Any changes that you make, please note that there is a triangle that appears right at the beginning of the row, which means these are modified columns. Now, in case I have removed a keyword, so let's come here to AdWords training and delete the keyword. When I hit the delete button, you will see a minus icon here. Now, if I add a new keyword and let me name it as test, it'll ask me where do you want to add this, because I'm at the account level. So let's actually go to the campaign level, which is the digital marketing campaign. So let me go to this campaign, go to keywords, add a new keyword. And do you see the moment I click on add a keyword, there is a red dot with an exclamation mark that appears. This means that this is an error. It says keyword text can't be empty, right? You can also read up more about by clicking on show violations, etc. Or clearly understand that this means the violation here is empty, which means I cannot have a keyword with no text in it. So this is a warning. When you have warnings, you can never post these things onto a real-time account. Remember that. Now, all the orange triangles with boxes are warnings. With these warnings, you can still go ahead and post, but with an error, you cannot go ahead and post it. Now, let's say I'm just naming this keyword as testing editor, right? By default, it's in broad match. Do you see how the red dot has disappeared? Now, if I want to change the state, I can do that. If I want to change the match type, I can do that. Do you see there is a warning here that appears? As we have already discussed, with a warning, you can go ahead and post these, but with a red dot, you cannot. And what is a warning anyway? On the display network, keywords are treated as broad match. Other match types selections won't be used. All right, since this is a display campaign, let me switch it back to broad. Now, the whole intention was to show you what a warning and error means. Final URL is a keyword level URL that you could go ahead and add. You can add your CPC, CPM, CPV. You can add tracking templates if you have any. You can add labels and comments here. Now, if you want to add multiple keywords, you can simply go ahead and select this, add multiple keywords. Now, let's say my keywords are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what are these? These are keywords. So I would have to go ahead and select this and say process. Now, when you do that, you'll have to finish and review changes. Now, this is where the trickiest part. I'll also give you a hack. Now, remember, the tricky part here is if I want to add more keywords now, I can't do that. Now, does that mean that I can only add multiple keywords at once? No. What it means is you have already added a list of multiple keywords. You would want to confirm that you would want to keep those changes. If you want to reject them, you can reject them as well. Either you click on keep or reject. That is when this option will start reappearing again. So let's say keep, and you will see this option active again. Now, I want to see where the new keywords are added, right? You have two ways to do that. Either you can scroll it down through the keyword, or you can simply click on this where it will bring you the list of keywords added, because the plus indicates the new keywords, minus indicates a removed keyword, a triangle indicates an edited or a modified keyword. Orange triangles with exclamation marks mean that there are certain warnings that you need to take care of. The red dots with exclamation marks mean that there are some errors that you need to fix before you move. Anything that you add or modify or indicate that these are not posted into the account yet, they are only appearing in the editor at this point in time. You will see them appearing in bold, which means there are certain campaigns that I have made changes to. There are some ad groups that I've made changes to. There are some keywords and locations that I made changes to. That's pretty much what these statuses indicate, or these icons indicate when you're adding or making any changes to anything in your Google Ads account. Now that was about keywords. Now if you start looking at ads, you can go ahead and start looking at adding more ad texts as well. You can go ahead, let me make this huge. Now you can go ahead and start adding headlines, changing headlines. Now let's say if I change this to textbook instead of textbooks, it appears here. That means I have modified this, right? You can go ahead and add all your 13, 14 headlines here. You can add multiple descriptions here. You can have your URLs here. It will also show what the ad strength is here. And you will also start looking at adding any other things that you would want to add. So understand the structure first. You have an account, then you have campaigns, then you have ad groups, then you have keywords, and then you have ads, right? Now, you can also add extensions. You can also add recommendations. Now, while these are some of the things that are on the outside, these are just cosmetic changes, right? Cosmetic features. Now, let's start looking at why do I need a standalone tool like Editor to help me go ahead and how can this help me in grouping keywords? So let's actually kind of select multiple keywords. Now let me select, let's say I have selected these keywords, right? Select these keywords, go to another ad group. I would want to create a temporary ad group. So create an ad group called temp. I want to create it in this account. And let's say I would want to create in this ad group, right? Okay. Now I have created an ad group here. There is a warning, there is an error which says default ad groups are not allowed in video. Okay, then we need to choose another ad group. So let me delete this. Let me go to a search campaign. This is a search campaign. So I would want to go ahead and add these keywords. Click on keywords. Let's add a new ad group. Go to ad group, add an ad group, call it temporary. So this is the account that I usually use to mess things up or to test things. So, okay, go to keywords. There are 0 keywords because it's a new ad group. I would want to add the keywords that I have chosen, right? Now, there are certain warnings. What does the warning say? There are duplicates, I think. Okay, this keyword has the same text as another keyword. So remove the duplicates. Done. Now, I have keywords talking about AdWords. I have keywords talking about footwear. I have keywords talking about digital marketing, keto plans. That's it, right? So those are the broad themes. Now, in a typical Excel sheet or when you download these keywords from Keyword Planner, what would happen typically is you will struggle a lot by going to the Excel sheet, dragging, making different columns, selecting those keywords, grouping them or moving them across, etc. And it's a struggle. So let me tell you what I'm going to do now, and you will be surprised at how easy it is to group these keywords. Now, I have broad themes here. I have diet plans, or I have keto plans, I have AdWords related keywords, and I have digital marketing related keywords, right? So simply go ahead and start looking for keto, right? So these are all the keywords that have, one second. It should appear in keyword. Okay. And the word should be keto. Select. That's it. So it will pick up a list of all the keywords which have keto in them. Now these are from the list that you have copied, right? So I want to copy these. Either copy these, go to another ad group and paste it, or simply go to ad groups, create another ad group. Now this is your keto temp, right? Okay, now come back to the list of keywords. Even when you come back, the filtered keywords will still be here. This filter mechanism, guys, I'm telling you, it can be a lifesaver. So I've selected all these keywords. Simply drag and drop them into keto temp. You're done. So close this. It's done. You have moved them into the different ad group that you would want it. Now, in your temp ad group, which is the original ad group where you have copied keywords, you will not find keto keywords anymore because you have filtered them and you have moved them into this ad group called keto temp. It's as simple as that. Now come here, look at keywords which are talking about footwear. There's only one. So copy this keyword and probably move it into another relevant ad group. Close it. And all you're left with is called as the AdWords related ad group. So simply come here, change the ad group to name to AdWords, and your grouping is set. I know this for a fact, and I'm telling you this from my own experience. The time you take for grouping keywords using AdWords Editor versus not using AdWords Editor gets cut by 1/10 when you're using AdWords Editor. It is amazingly, insanely helpful, right? So please don't take this as just to have, just like a fancy tool or a good to have tool. This can be a lifesaver, and I mean it when I say that. All right. So this is done, I mean, in terms of keywords or ad groups. So you can move things across different campaigns, different ad groups. You can, let's say, I'll also show you an example in terms of ads, right? So let's go to this ad group, I mean, campaign. I have certain ads here, right? Now, let's say I want these ads to be copied across different ad groups in a different campaign. You can simply come here, right? You can come here. Either you can manually copy these one by one, right? There are certain errors. Don't worry about this. This is for demonstration only. I have copied each of the set of ad texts into these individually, right? So let's remove these and let me show you another hack. Now, if I don't want to do that, I mean, these are two ad groups, it's okay. But what if I have, let's say, 20 ad groups? Let's pick up a campaign where we have like a huge amount of, okay, all of them are small, right? Let's say I want to copy those ad texts into all these at once, right? So come here, go to the ad group level, go to these ad groups. I want to paste my ads into all these ad groups. So select all of them. Simply Control V or Command V is the shortcut that we use for copying. But instead of that, use Control Shift and V or Command Shift and V if you're using a MacBook. Simply do that. It automatically gets copied into all ad groups at once. So let's look at this. Come to ad texts, responsive search ads. Do you see how automatically all of them are copied without me having to do it manually one after the other? That's exactly how this will help you. So you want to change anything here, you want to change your final URL, you want to change it, add, remove, pause, whatever, you can all execute those changes here. Now, while these are internal changes and you can very well do anything that you want for all of these things here, you can add display ads here. You can add audio ads. You can have responsive search ads. You can do pretty much anything that you can do in your account. Now, the other things that I would want to talk about is simultaneously you can add multiple accounts as well. You can open multiple accounts as well. And get recent changes, check changes, and post are the three most important factors that you need to look at. And view statistics is where you get all the numbers from. So let's look at that now. Get recent changes will give you, let's say I work on this account today, I post it, right? I come back after a week. In the meantime, some other executive would have made some changes in the ads account. Now, if I start working from where I left, I would miss out on all the changes that are in the account. So to get the recent updated version of the Google Ads account, which is there in my real Google Ads account, I need to do a get recent changes, do a basic, and I want to get an updated version of all the things that is already there in the account. Now, if I'm not wrong, because I have done that, I should lose all the changes now because it is going to import whatever is there in the account minus the change. Okay, the changes are still there, right? So these are the changes that I have made to the account and I've got the recent version of the account, right? Now, check changes will check for any errors, right? Changes won't be checked if problems are found with them. Because there are certain errors here, it will not check the changes. So I need to fix all these things before I go ahead and post them. Post changes is to post all the changes that you have made. Once you hit the post button, it will automatically go into the Google Ads account. After that, there is no coming back from there. The next thing that I would want to show or talk about is view statistics, get statistics, choose any campaign that you would want, choose what metrics do you want, and you can also choose date ranges that you would want. And when you say OK, it will import all the account data that you would want. For example, if you go back to keywords here, okay, there are no keywords here. Okay, these keywords, you will only see the keyword match type, right? And you will not see the data, how many clicks it got, what is the ad relevance. It will not get all these things, right? Now, if I say go to this campaign, say get recent changes, view statistics, get the statistics. For this campaign, I would want performance metrics. Let's say for the last, let's say all time, say okay. It will start importing those changes and I will start seeing data from now. Right? When I say data, I mean the numbers. So do you see how it will start getting the numbers? If it doesn't have data, it will not show the data. But if it has data, it will definitely show the data, right? Now let's actually pick up another campaign so that you can understand it better. Okay, let's look at this campaign. Get the statistics, all time, performance metrics. Yes. It's importing. Once it imports, it will start showing the data for the keywords that I have here. Okay, do you see how the quality score got imported? Okay, this is the statistics that I'm talking about. Earlier, these were not appearing. There was no cost data here. There was no impressions, CTR. You will see all the metrics that are associated so that I can start analyzing it from here itself. If I would want to remove any keyword without any interactions in the last 30 days, I can simply scroll it down. I can simply select them and start removing them. Let's say delete. Right? Do you see how I delete that? It'll all be minus. And I can go ahead and start posting changes into this campaign. Now, post because there is no errors. Now, this will automatically go into my Google Ads account. So, what I did was I imported a Google Ads account, looked at the account, I imported the statistics also. I removed certain keywords which were not helpful. I simply posted them back. That's it. All right. Now, one last thing that I would want to talk about is, especially when you're talking about keywords, and this tab will only appear when you're talking about keywords, go to the keyword section and you will see something called as search terms. Now, search terms is exactly what the search terms in your account shows, which is the search terms report, right? Now, these are all the keywords that your ads are showing for, but you have not included them into the Google Ads account. So it will start showing the search term data for whatever date that you've chosen, and you can add the keywords from here itself. This is not showing because this is a dummy account, but I'm just saying that you can add, once it shows keywords here, you can start looking at adding that data back into the account, right? Now that is your search terms. Basically, search terms is nothing but the search terms report in your Google Ads account. So this was the version 1 of the Google Ads editor. This is only for you to understand what is what. Now, the next thing that we would be talking about in the next part of this tutorial is we would start looking at different tools, different hacks, how you can append text, add text, remove text, replace text, etc. And then how do you work with data, etc. So I hope it makes sense so far. Even if you're just convinced with the fact that you need a tool like AdWords Editor to make your Google Ads life easy, I'm happy with that. I hope you like this session. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to either text me or message me or email me or subscribe or leave it in the comments. I'll be more than happy to revert to you with whatever you need. Thank you so much. My name is Casey. Until then, ciao.